The MK party has announced Advocate Busisiwe, Mkhwebane and Willies Mchunu as its provincial conveners of Mpumalanga and KwaZulu-Natal respectively. The two recently left their respective parties, the EFF and the ANC. Now this emerged at the MK party's media briefing in Sandton this afternoon. MK Party Secretary General Dr Sifiso Maseko says the two members have vast experience in leadership.
We also take this opportunity to announce that Comrade Advocate Busisiwe Mkhwebane will be the convener of Umkhonto Party in the province of Mpumalanga. Malibongwe ukama lamakhosikazi wathinta imbokodo wathinta abafazi sakwamukela mamkhwebane. Advocate Mkhwebane is a seasoned public servant and true fighter for justice and equal rights, and we all bear testimony to that. She is the former public protector who was unlawfully removed from the office for confronting the status quo and asking necessary and relevant questions to the sitting head of state. Advocate Mkhwebane's consistency, composure, and professionalism will guide the province of Mpumalanga into absolute stability and progress.
Let's discuss this further now. We're joined by the director at the Center for the Advancement of Non-Racialism and Democracy at Nelson Mandela University, Professor Bheki Mngomezulu. Prof, it's a pleasure to have you with us this evening. Your reaction to the latest members who have been added to the Umkhonto Party, the two conveners?
Thank you very much, Mangete, for having me, and good evening to your viewers. This should not come as a surprise. The problem we have in South Africa is that when people analyze political developments, they don't use their analytic minds. Instead, they use their emotions. Some of us had already predicted that if you look at the manner in which Umkhonto Party was formed, would tell you that there is more that is going to come sooner rather than later. And then, of course, some people accused us of being too close to the former President Jacob Zuma, which was not the case. And each and every event that happens, we are being vindicated. So in this case, when you recall that both the Advocate Busisiwe Mkhwebane and then, of course, Mchunu in KwaZulu-Natal, they were not happy with certain things that were happening in the country. When they raised their concerns, they were dismissed. And this is where we are right now. So I'm not surprised at all.
You do have members, though, who are quite unhappy, who are saying that for them, they feel that there are individuals who are being parachuted to senior positions when they themselves had been working for the party even ahead of the national elections. Are they correct?
Let's ask these two questions. Is this new? The answer is definitely no. Then the second question is, when those members joined their respective organizations, including the current one we're talking about, Umkhonto Party, did they join for positions or did they join the party in order to serve the nation? If the answer is the latter, then of course it shouldn't concern them if someone new is being given a responsibility in the organization, because it means that they are in the same team. It's not as if they join the party for positions, and when they don't get positions, they feel left out. That shouldn't be the case. And this is what has been happening in other political parties as well. As long as you apply meritocracy, whereby you appoint people into positions or you elect people into positions based on their requisite skills and knowledge, and not necessarily based on who they are. Whenever there is factional politics in the organization, this is what normally happens. If you're in the right faction, you get a nod. If you're in the quote-unquote wrong faction, you are left out, even if you have all the skills and capability to perform at your utmost best.
Could it cause rifts, though? And I ask this because you and I have spoken previously, about, I'll use the ANC, for example, where you will see people who are saying that you're raising questions about the quality of a cadre when you do have members that you're not giving a chance, who are sitting at a branch level or in different levels that would actually potentially, if elevated, could do the party justice. Now you then have a situation where some could say, but if you're not going to then put me in a position where I think I can serve better, I then might just be an unhappy camper within this political party. So do you see it potentially maybe causing rifts or not?
It depends on the political maturity of both the leadership and the membership. You recall in the case of the ANC that we just alluded to, that former President Prof Bheki is on record saying that the membership of the party should be checked to see if indeed they are the right fit for the party. The same applies to the MK party. One of the reasons, for instance, the MK party did not go to a conference and is currently operating in an interim structure is to avert a similar situation whereby you elect people into positions at a conference and then it would not be easy for you to remove them because they will say, we're elected at a conference, will only be removed at a conference. So it all boils down to political maturity. If you have people who are not politically mature, they will then cry foul and say, I've been in the party for longer than the newcomers, why then am I being sidelined? That is only people who don't see the bigger picture, who think about the here and now. What I've always referred to as political parochialism, where you only see today and you say, I'll cross the other bridge when I get there, which is in fact not good in terms of vision, because you prepare for the future even if you are living in the present. That is how leadership is all about.
And when you're looking at these moves that are now being made, how much of it is in preparation to the local government elections in about 2 years' time?
Mangete, everything that political parties are doing, both the old and the new ones, they all have their eyes glued on the 2026 local government election and then also the 2029 general election, which is why it's of utmost importance for all leaders in different political parties, including the MK party, that we are talking about now, not to think about the here and now. For example, it would be wrong or erroneous for the MK party to be excited now and then, of course, fail to do well in the forthcoming 2026 local government election and then subsequently the 2029 general election. So yes, indeed, everything politicians do and say should be geared towards the 2026 and 2029 elections. Failure to do that would mean that those people don't deserve to be leaders and they might as well be removed now before 2025 when 2026 will be even closer.
Prof, before I let you go briefly then, as a final question, of course, there is a current storm that is also brewing that we've seen around the foreign policy when it comes to Democratic Alliance, as well as, the GNU, as well as the position that was then presented by the president when he was talking about the fact that Russia continues to be an important ally for South Africa. And of course, the Democratic Alliance saying that it distances itself from this statement. You've seen the flood of reaction to that particular, statement by the Democratic Alliance. What do you say, and what is your take around this?
I've been deeply involved in the discussions around that, and I'm on record saying that as much as I disagree with the president on many issues, but on this one, he's absolutely right. The ANC did not win the election, but truth be told, President Ramaphosa is currently leading the multi-party coalition because there is no government of national unity in South Africa as we speak. There is a multi-party coalition which is led by the ANC, which ANC is led by President Ramaphosa. So therefore, the position of government cannot be relayed to the outside community by any other person other than President Ramaphosa. So whether people agree with him or not is neither here nor there. He is the face of the government, and therefore what he said was right. Steenhuisen is totally wrong. He is a DA leader and is a member of this multi-party coalition, but he has no mandate to speak on behalf of government and on behalf of South Africa. That one should be clear.
Prof, appreciate your time. Thank you so much for chatting to us. That was the political analyst, Professor Bheki Mngomezulu there from the director. He's the director, rather, of the Center for the Advancement of Non-Racialism and Democracy at the Nelson Mandela University.